Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Suited Kings podcast. Today, we will be discussing the final table, the end boss challenge of the poker tournament, so to speak.
Nice. Yes. My favorite part. That's where all the money's at.
It's where all the money's at. And especially so in the types of fields that a lot of our listeners and as well as us, the types of tournaments that we're going to be playing in at the World Series of Poker. Thousands of entries in these tournaments. It's very difficult to make a final table at the WSOP. But if you get there, you want to be prepared. You want to know what you're doing, and you want to, obviously you can't control everything, but you want to be able to put yourself in the best situation possible to make a huge pile of cash. And today we're going to just go over a few hands. We're going to discuss a few little, tricks of the trade. And
I like it.
Yeah, just a few of the thought processes that we have at final tables and
the concepts.
How we turn deep runs into big money.
Yes. All right. I love it. Let's pour some gravy on it. You ready?
Yes.
I tried to switch it up from the meat and potatoes.
I don't know. Honestly,
just slap me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we already did a take two because I kind of fumbled the first one, so that's okay.
Do you remember when in our first, one of our early episodes where you let me slap you, or what's the opposite way?
You slapped me.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah. Was it for a bet? I don't even remember. You just let me slap you?
Maybe. Or I think it was. I think it was
a bet. But anyways, yes, I'm totally looking forward into today's topic, of course, the World Series of Poker final table discussion. So you'd think that the final table episode would be the last episode of this series. However, it actually is not. We're going to have one more finale series. It'll be a surprise. Look forward to that coming here soon before the World Series starts. But today, we're going to go over a few hands like Wes said here. And one of them actually will include Mr. Josh Reichard, one of our previous guests on the podcast. So looking forward to discussing that with Wes. Wes is actually coming into these hands blind. So
yeah.
Looking forward to that.
Do you want to make one of these a guess the hand?
Okay, yeah. This first one would be a great one. Okay. So the first hand here, and then after we do that, we can discuss all of the concepts that kind of we need to pay attention to being at the final table to help us perform our best, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll guess Josh Reichard's hand here, okay?
Okay.
This is the $2,500 buy-in freeze-out final table. I believe it's from last year's WSOP.
That sounds right, and that's good. Yeah, I would have no idea what hand this is. So
okay, well, so there's 6 people left in this tournament. Okay, the blind levels are 125K, 250K with a 250K big blind ante. I mean, gosh, if you're at that point, it's already you're deep in this thing.
Yeah, when you get to the point in the tournament where the small blind is much larger than a starting stack, that's good news.
Yeah, you're making a pile of cash at that point. And no surprise to see our boy Josh Reichard here. Dude just kills it. Also, I don't know if we gave a shout out to him, but shout out to him for winning that 10K the other a couple weeks ago, I think at Sherpa for almost $250,000, something like that.
280, I think.
So we'll start the action off here with, again, it's 6-handed. Jeremy Osmus is in the cutoff with 4.47, or we'll just say he's got 4.5 million. So
like 18 bigs.
18 bigs. We're going to tell you his hand. He's got the Ace of Hearts and Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
He opens.
Sorry. So how many players are left?
There's 6 players left.
Gotcha.
Okay, so he opens to 500K, which is just a min open. It folds all the way to the big blind, which is our friend Josh Reichard. Josh starts the hand with 3.175. I believe.
Okay, so he's got like 12, 13 bigs.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So, but he's got 2 big blinds in the pot already, right?
Mm-hmm.
It folds to Josh, and we're not going to tell you his hand yet, but he ends up
he folds.
And he folds, yeah. But guess what he had? No, he ends up calling. So he calls, and the pot is now 1.375 million. Josh has 2.4, so he has just a little over 2 times the pot behind, and Osmus has 4 million.
Mm-hmm.
The flop comes 10 of clubs, 3 of clubs, 2 of clubs.
All right, 10-3 deuce all clubs.
I'm actually looking forward to discussing this hand in a little more detail after our little guessing session here because there's a lot I think that we
And
can take away from
and
this.
the other thing we should clarify, do you know, is Josh the short stack at the table?
Josh is the shortest stack at the table.
And is Jeremy second shortest?
And Jeremy is, let's see, Jeremy is third shortest.
Okay.
So Josh is 6 of 6, Jeremy is 3 of 6.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So there's a couple other shorties.
Yeah, right around. I think. Okay, so Josh has 3.175 to start. Uh, Someone has 4.375, so just under Jeremy, and then it's Jeremy. I
Okay.
guess that would make him 4 of
Him
6.
four, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, and then the rest are pretty close, and then there's one massive stack at 18 million. So everybody's close, and then there's an 18 million stack.
Yeah.
He's not in this hand though. So, anyways, flop comes 10 of clubs, 3 of clubs, deuce of clubs. Josh, I think, as standard being, checks to Jeremy here. With the ace queen of hearts on this board, what are you doing?
So my standard is to kind of just bet one big blind.
Yeah.
Now, the problem with that is, what do we do when Josh just like check raises really small? You know, are we hero calling? Like, Josh probably won't have many pocket pairs, and he won't have many deuce X or 3X, but he could have, any amount of club
I'm
hands
assuming that
or a
you're coming to
10.
this conclusion because he would have jammed pre-flop.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, I mean, I see an argument for checking. I see an argument for betting like one big blind.
Okay. You want
What
to
do
know
you
what
think?
happens?
Yeah,
So I know I 100% agree with what you're saying here. So one thing I want to discuss on these monotone boards, I'm usually often betting regardless. I'm almost betting my entire range, and I'm always betting very small.
yeah,
Whether I'm
that
nutted, not nutted, have nothing, because I think that just betting small here is always just going to fold out a lot of the nothings,
so
and it's going to keep a lot of the small pairs in as well. So if we want
here's
value,
here's what I would say is like I also tend to do that. I don't know if that's actually what you're supposed to do, and at this level with how good both of these players are,
hmm
I I could see a reason for checking too,
yeah,
because one advantage to betting really small on monotone boards is
hmm
a lot of people overfold, or like the general population just overfolds a lot on those boards. Like, you're supposed to float a lot more
yeah.
or call with weaker hand. But I don't think that'll be. I don't think that'll be. I guess let's put it this way, and I'm sure you'll agree with this. I don't think we can rely on Josh Reichert to overfold.
that's a
So
that's a great point.
yeah,
Yeah, our opponent, um, Josh doesn't like to fold, and rightfully so. So one other thing I want to mention here too is one reason I like your check, or checking in this spot, is because with Josh being the shortest stack, there's not really ICM implications. Whereas if there was someone really or someone much shorter than him or shorter than him in general, he has he's motivated to then fold. You know what I mean? And
mhm.
and float less essentially. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay. Not convinced. That was not very convincing, but but anyways, Osmus bets 300, so it's barely over a big blind, and Josh lands on a call. So now the pot is 1.975. The turn comes the 7 of spades, so it's 10 of clubs, 3 of clubs, 2 of clubs, 7 of
Kind of
spades.
a banana, as you'd say.
It's a banana, exactly. Well put.
Yeah.
Josh checks. As Osmus here with ace queen, what are you doing?
Now I think I would just check, and then on some rivers might bluff. Like, maybe Josh has 6-5 without a club,
Yeah, yeah.
something like that. But also, if we bet here, it's like we don't want to bet call. We don't want to bet and get called really now. So
Okay. I 100% agree with you. I'm going to check here. Our hand has enough showdown value. We're not going to be getting a lot to fold at this point if he's calling the flop. So for that reason, I'm also going to check back, which Jeremy, being the legend he is, does check back. We
yeah,
get the 2 of spades on the river. Again, one more time to
yeah.
repeat the board. 10 of clubs, 3 of clubs, 2 of clubs, 7 of
Mhm.
spades, 2 of spades. So there's the pair of twos out there and 3 clubs.
Yep.
Now, so this is when the hand gets interesting. Josh
Uh,
Reichard elects to bet 2.0 2,050,000 of his 2.1 million. So he leaves a
so
50K
he
behind.
affect yeah, and it's a basically pot sized
He
jam
either
of
left a 25K or 50K behind, something like that. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a jam. He jams. Now with Osmus here, what do we do? So it's 2.1 that he bets. Josh left 25K behind also. So he bets 2.1. Jeremy has 3.7 behind. What are your thoughts here originally? I love the fact that Jeremy has no blockers here.
Yeah.
What
Like
yeah.
he doesn't have like a 6, 5, or 4 that would block a straight draw.
Yep. He doesn't block the clubs that would float that didn't get there.
Right. Yeah. Like having a club is actually not necessarily.
Good
It can
here.
go both ways.
It can,
Um,
but yeah, I think in this case,
here,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Like what is Josh? He could have some suited deuce X, but like I
Not too many. I mean, maybe. I guess he should be flatting a pretty wide range of hands, being that there's no one shorter than him from the big blind. I guess that's another thought too, is kind of going further on my no ICM implications, although there is slightly, but
mhm,
is that with him being the shorter stack, I think that gives him the ability to defend a little bit wider in this spot pre-flop.
yeah. Here's the thing. I'm sticking with my. I think Josh has 6, 5 offsuit. That's my first guess.
6-5 offsuit.
No club.
That is not correct.
Okay.
Now we want to give you the boy a tip, right?
Yeah.
I can't tell you whether it was a value bet or a bluff. So let me see here. I will say that he does have a club in his hand.
Like at least one club is what you're saying.
At least one club in his hand.
Yeah. I almost want to just say like pocket aces. I don't really think that'd be
Is
a
that your second guess?
no. Um
Do you want me to repeat the board to you? Do you remember what it was?
yeah, it's 10, 3 deuce all clubs, then 7 deuce.
Okay, well, let's kind of dive into this. So I'll give you some
Yeah.
better tips here. What would he be value jamming here?
Um
Let's think out loud here.
yeah. If he had a deuce, probably a 10.
Yep.
If
I
he had
agree.
aces, he would jam.
Yep.
Um if he slow played a flush,
Okay.
like I think it's 10x and better.
Okay. Now, knowing he has a club
Hmm.
and knowing the full board, what kind
So
of
he doesn't have a deuce because that would mean the deuce was an offsuit.
Yep,
Okay, so
exactly.
I'm gonna rule out him having a deuce.
Yep. What kind of bluffs can he have here?
I mean, he can have. I guess like the ones that make them that are the easiest are like the club draw with straight draw on the
Okay.
flop.
Okay.
And I don't. If he were to have an ace high, I think he would just check. I don't think he would bluff with ace high.
Okay. Go ahead and make your second guess and I'll give you a second
Yeah,
clue.
I'll say 6-4 with a club.
That is incorrect. However, I will say as a second tip to get you closer that you are on the right path.
Okay. I mean, 5-4 with a club. Is it 6-5 with a club?
No, so he didn't actually flop the straight draw.
Oh, he
He
turned.
turned the straight draw, but had so he had the jack of hearts and the eight of clubs.
Okay.
So he
I
floated the
guess yeah,
flop. He floated
yeah.
the
The
flop with the eight high flush
just
draw.
that's tricky because he can. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know why I necessarily thought he had to. I think he can just float with any club
Yeah,
on the flop.
yeah.
Um, I could also see him. I guess maybe if he had the straight draw, he would just check raise. But maybe Jack 8, he's like, okay, I'll take off a card and hopefully
I wonder if excuse me, if Osmus bet the turn, what he would do with this hand. Would he turn it
jam
in?
it.
Would he check raise, check jam this hand? Probably, right?
Yeah, it feels too weak to just call.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious. But
But I
anyway,
don't know. It could just be a thing on the flop where he's like, well, it's cheap. I have a club, and if I turn a pair, I could be good. Which is which was the case. Like
okay.
I
Do you want to know
um
the result of the hand?
I think Usmas called.
Osmus, have you seen it or just
No,
assuming?
I just something in my mind. I think Josh got 6? Like I think
You're right.
yeah.
Josh did get or Osmus called here with ace queen high, which is a sick call and it's a correct call. And And Josh essentially busts probably within the next hand or two here
Yeah.
with.
So, and obviously we can talk a little bit more about final table ICM stuff, but like that aside, when Jeremy calls here with just ace high, does that, if you're in Josh's shoes here, does that make you feel like, oh God, like that maybe it was a bad bluff because like I didn't even get ace high to fold?
I mean, 100%, right?
Yeah.
Josh is literally targeting Osmus's pretty much, this range of hands, ace highs, etc.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
I
had
mean,
that.
yeah,
I've definitely had those where it's like, it, I'll even be kind of annoyed. Like maybe online, I'll bluff a hand and I'm targeting a specific type of hand, and my opponent tank calls and they're like, wow, that was a sick bluff. Like, and I'm like, no, like it was a terrible bluff because like you called with your weakest bluff deck.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
you're calling, if you find a call with that, you're calling everything, you
That's
know?
that's tough. So let's talk about the concepts in this hand. First off, being ICM with Josh being the smallest stack. Does he still need to be concerned with his defending range from the big blind?
I think it's still fine. Now we should like, do you know what the average stack roughly was here?
I would say, well, so it's 18 million. Here, I can tell you what the stacks are. So it's the biggest stack is 18.6. The
Mhm.
second biggest stack is 7.2. And then the rest are, 6.5, 4.4, 4.3, and then Josh at 3.1, 3.1.
Gotcha.
So the average is a bit skewed with such a big stack and everybody else being around the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna like look, just see if we can find any sort of,
Pre-flop ranges on this.
yeah, something like that so we can, I don't know that this is gonna be perfect, but I'm just looking at a situation where there's a 19 big, like average stack of 30 bigs and a 19 blind stack opens, and then off of 10 big blinds the short stack is in the big blind and actually should be folding jack 8 off, but also like 10-8 off, jack 9 off, king 8 off. So this actually, even as the short stack, I think technically this may be a bit loose from Josh.
Okay.
And I
We did
think
just say Josh doesn't like to fold.
we did say that. And I also would give the caveat that I think in a lot of the tournaments, the MSPTs, the mid stakes, and maybe this is 2500, so maybe it counts, but like I think most of the time he's going to have enough of an edge to probably get away with it.
I agree with
Um,
you. I
I
agree with
think,
you.
against someone like Jeremy Osmus, I think whether, not saying who has the edge, but I'm sure, Jeremy's one of the best. Like
Yeah,
you're not going to
I
be able
hundred
to,
I 100% agree with you. I think that if this is an opponent dependent spot against one of the top tier players in the world, Jeremy Osmus, right? I mean, he is literally known right now as like one of the best in the world. Um, so like he's able to think things through on a meta level or a deeper level than most the mid stake grinders are that Josh typically plays against. So
yeah. And maybe like this would be the time to just stick to theory as well as how,
yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's interesting. I guess you do want to, so I'm just gonna give this caveat. So in this example, we have six stacks. There's like a 34, 19, 26, 41, and 49 big blind stack, and then 11 bigs in the big blind. So it's like, it's not a perfect representation of what this spot is, but it's close enough where like, yeah, even as the short stack at a final table, even if you're not like, even if you're a little ways behind people, you still need to tighten up quite a bit. It seems like, unless everyone has like 50 big blinds, then I think he's pretty much just trying to play catch up. But
Okay. Well,
um
yeah, I don't know. I thought that was an interesting hand. It kind of, shows ICM in a sense. It shows ranges and also like bluffing. And let's talk about, I guess, before we move on, why Jeremy's call is better than if he didn't have like,
are you, it sounds
bluff.
like you're calling him Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Okay, yeah. It sounded like.
My wife makes fun of me for that all the
Oh,
time.
really?
I have just the way I speak, Jeremy, like
Yeah,
Jeremy. I'll really
gotcha.
thanks for that, pal. Now the whole world gets to hear it. They
Oh, they
probably
already
already
did.
did.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeremy.
We
But
can call him Mr. Osmus if you'd like.
Mr. Osmus, yeah, I'm never saying Jeremy again. Anyway, so let me ask you, say Jeremy has ace of clubs in his hand or a queen of clubs. Does this make it a less clear bluff catcher?
I think the ace of clubs, not really. I think the nice thing about having any ace here is if Josh has ace high, he's not going to bluff.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of targeting ace high, and he could, he could beat king queen with ace high. He can beat king jack.
Yeah, he would try and get the showdown, not try because the Jeremy can can easily have those hands. Oh my
Yeah,
God, I hate that I say that now.
yeah. Um, so in terms of the queen, I guess it would be, do we think Josh is more likely to check raise with a flush or with a flush draw? And maybe he's kind of equally likely. Or maybe he's gonna, when he check raises, he mostly has value. So when he check calls, I guess what I'm saying is Josh is probably gonna try and be a little more balanced in this spot.
Yeah,
So it might not, I guess I don't know how the math works on that, but I would say I think just having mhm. I think the biggest thing is not having a straight blocker, like a 4, 5, or 6
yeah,
would be the
yeah.
best thing.
Okay.
Um,
I can get with that. Now, what about the betting on monotone flops? I think that's so. There's a couple concepts. There's ICM. There's monotone flops, and then bluff catching. Betting monotone flops. I guess for me, a general rule of thumb is you can check them or bet small on them, and that's pretty much
mhm.
100%. What do you think? It's one of those two, I guess, is what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
and it also depends on the, a board texture still matters in the sense, like if it's an ace king high board, the normal board texture stuff still comes into play.
Yeah.
But I would agree with you in terms of the tournaments we play, in the mid stakes. For the sake of our listeners, I would say like checking, betting small and monotone boards when you're the pre-flop aggressor is often the right thing to do.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you're just. I mean, if you do it with 100% of your range, you oftentimes, especially when you say you just have nothing, it's nice to just get those other nothings to fold.
It really is. And I would also give the caveat of like, if you are bet into on the monotone board, make sure you're defending, if someone c bets small on a monotone board, just because it's monotone, that doesn't mean you don't want to like call bottom pair or like check rate, like continue with a small flush draw. Just remember, like, if someone bets quarter pot, you need to win like, 20% of the time. So like you can make profitable calls with pretty weak hands, even if you don't think you're going to win the hand that much.
Yeah, I like it.
Um, so
Okay.
yeah, recognize that if you're going to always bet small on these boards, that is like exploitative slash exploitable. So just make sure you're not allowing that to happen to you is kind of the thing.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're aware of it, you can kind of combat it from there. So,
Mhm.
you ready to move on to the second hand?
Let's do it.
All right. So this one is from the $1,500 six-handed six max final table WSOP. What year it was, I'm not too sure. Oh, it's from 20. It's from last year. It's the 1,500 no limit hold'em six max. I actually
All right.
played in this event. I built up a stack immediately. I think I ran up to like 5 starting stacks and then got cooler twice and was just out of it. Like,
I kind of did some things. It took a little longer, but yeah, I did too. And I remember this was right after busting the mystery bounty, and then um,
how are we
I,
not just winning, hundreds of thousands of dollars at
I
this
don't
point?
understand
It's
it.
crazy. But anyways, moving forward, we have his last name is Fan, Fan.
Hmm.
He's let's see, the blinds are going to be 150, 300K, 300K. He's got let's see, what's 6.8 plus 650? So he's got 7,450, right?
Yep.
7.45,
So
I should
about
say.
25 bigs.
He's got about 25 bigs. He opens the button to 650K, so just barely over, 1.1 what is that one? Anyways, he opens just over two bigs.
Mhm.
Um, the small blind, his name is Spaz Off.
Oh, wow.
I love it. He's got 19 million, and he is also he's second in chips. So there's a one player with 27 million, one with 20 million. Then it's 7.4, 5.5, and 3 million.
Mhm.
So there's two players that have big stacks. The big stack in the small blind with 19 million calls for 500K. Did I mention what the button had here?
No, no, you didn't.
All right, let's get into the hand. So the button opens the ace six of clubs.
Okay.
Small blind flats eight nine of hearts as the big stack.
Yeah. There's a chance I've seen it. Not that it matters that I've seen it, but it might come back to me.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and if it does,
yeah.
no, let me know. But and then Mark Doob in Doob, I forget. I think it's Doob. Mark Doob. I've heard his name before. Anyways, he's in the big blind Doob. Doobie. Anyways, he's in the big blind with 5 million. I'm such a child. So yeah, he's got what is that, 17 and a half bigs or something?
Yep.
He looks like he defends the four deuce of diamonds. What is your thoughts on that initially? I know he's getting incredible pot odds,
Yeah.
but here's
I
the thing:
think
is there's a guy that has 3 million, so exactly 10 big blinds that's not in this hand.
here's what I'd say is I actually think it's fine. I think the hands you want to fold, like it's not likely, as we see here, he's not dominated.
Yeah,
Unless he is up against a pocket pair,
yeah,
he's not going to be dominated. And he is suited. He is, suited gapper. It's the weakest suited gapper, but I think it's a fine defend.
okay,
I think this is good. There will be a lot of flop. It's going to be hard to lose a lot because like if he flops bottom pair, I don't think he's going to.
yeah. He's gonna
You know.
want. He's looking for two pair better type hands,
Yep. Yeah, and
or like
he's
big draws.
big.
So
Yep.
that makes sense.
And
Yeah.
and
Otherwise, he
when
plans
it's a
on folding.
multi-way hand, it's a little more likely to just check around, so he can realize his equity a little better.
I like that point a lot, actually. That's a good thing to keep in mind. So the flop comes ace of spades, 10 of diamonds, five of spades. Uh, so our button
Oh,
opener
babe,
flops. Our button opener flops top pair with a six kicker. Spaz off in the small blind.
he's got
Um,
nothing, right?
he's got nine high, not even a backdoor flush draw, just a backdoor straight draw.
Hmm. And
And then
then the gut
and,
shot,
and then
backdoor
Mark,
diamonds.
exactly, good memory. Mark in the big blind has the gutter to the
To
nutter.
the nutter.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
got the gutter to the nutter with the backdoor diamond draw. Let's see how the action folds out here. So it checks all the way to fan on the button with top pair. What are you going to bend to 2.25 million here?
There's so and he has like he is the one who started with 25 blinds, right?
Yep.
So here's one of my thoughts is there's part of me that would check back.
Okay.
The small blind, like if the small blind who is a big stack decides to check raise, granted, like we're not too worried about big ace stacks here. This can get kind of sticky for it.
I really
We have
like
a
that.
weak ace.
I really like that because I think that also that big stack is going to apply a lot of pressure knowing that I'm handcuffed with all the shorter stacks.
Yeah,
So,
like
so
do
we're going to try
we
and take this to. I mean, if we do get value, it's going to be either two. It's probably only going to be a two streets or less, and might as well just get them on later streets.
Yeah, like I would bet like a quarter or fifth pot here if I bet, but I would consider checking too.
Well, my friend Wes, you absolutely nailed it. Our hero checks back.
Nice.
So, because he checks back, we get the ultimate juicy turn. What would that be? Take a guess.
Well, it could be a three, or it could be like the seven of diamonds,
You're on the right track. It's the Jack of Diamonds.
jack of diamonds. Okay,
So now
okay, so he's still ahead. Ace is still
Yeah,
good.
Spazzy's got an open ender. Doob's got a diamond draw, and now we still just have top pair as fan on the button here. Um, Spazov now leads into 2.25. He leads 1.1, so half pot.
So here's the part I don't love about it. Even though he's the big stack, the check back range on the button, it can include all the king queens.
King queens, yeah,
It can have like jack tens,
pocket jacks,
even like kings and queens probably don't fold now. It
yeah.
can have some ace,
Yeah,
and we
we
kind
still
of
want to just
block.
kind of realize our equity because we're not going to be getting a
Yeah,
lot of folds here.
I like the idea of bluffing.
I kind of like it for the reason of ICM pressure
That's the positive, but it's like we also block hands like pocket eights, pocket nines that we're hoping the button
to get
has
fold.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, you're targeting like King 10 and maybe like King Jack, something like that, Queen Jack, something
Yeah.
like
I
that.
mean,
But those aren't even gonna might not even fold. So,
yeah, and it's like if you if you bet and hit a queen, anyways, as the big stack, I definitely get it,
what
but
are you doing with as Mark here now in the big blind with someone behind you, a bet in front of you, someone behind you, and a four high flush draw with your straight jaw?
it sucks because it feels like it feels like you don't have fold equity. What's actually pretty cool is if you were to jam, it might actually work.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, knowing the opponent's hands, it would work.
yeah, but I actually, it's like you don't have fold. Do you want to call for like what, like 40% of your stack here?
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah. He's got 4 point. Well, no, it's 25% ish or like under. It's 1.1. Mark's got 4.6 behind.
oh, I thought he had like 10 bigs.
No, Mark has
Oh,
4
someone
point.
else says 10 bigs.
Someone not in the hand has 10 bigs.
You're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Okay. I think I'm leaning more towards call now because
Yeah, I guess because there's probably implied odds too. Do you think? I mean, if we hit the flush, maybe not. I don't know.
yeah,
It's kind of reminds me somewhat of that hand you played. Remember that where you had like a straight draw and a flush draw, but you're like, I should just folded the turn. It was online not that long ago. I don't know. We won't get
maybe.
too hung up
Yeah.
on that. But anyways,
I wouldn't hate a fold here.
okay. It's I
Um,
mean, it's gonna be a painful fold though.
yeah, this is where if the button calls, then you just close your eyes. You're like, just
Don't look at this
don't put
fucking
a
river.
diamond or a three out there,
Yeah.
please.
Well, Mark does go with the patient route and folds.
Yeah.
Can't blame him. That's obviously max pain. Now, as fan, I think because we're so under rep by checking back flop, we have to call one here.
Yeah.
I don't think we can just fold to the big stack leading out on this turn.
Yeah. We're going to have to plan on calling rivers a
A lot
lot
of blank
too.
rivers,
Yeah.
like
And there actually
any non.
there
Yeah,
aren't that many complete blanks though, is the tricky part.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
we can assume like a 4-3 and deuce are going to be a blank versus the small blind, but
yeah, yeah. I agree with that. So fan calls and the pot is 4.45 million.
okay.
The river is the eight of clubs, which gives Spazov a pair of eights.
Yeah. We have to assume the 8 is no good though.
100% agree with you. So now with knowing that and having a nine in our hand,
A 9 is now we block the queen nines.
yep. Do we turn this hand into a bluff? So
Yeah.
fans got 5.7 million. There's 4.45 in the middle. We have 18 million with the 8-9 of hearts.
I mean, all in feels kind of like all in.
That's so sick. And you are 100% right again. Spaz off. I love that.
Yeah.
He jams. He overbets. Yeah, overbet pot. Yeah, he overbet jams.
Yeah.
So
This is where checking back the flop, it's like he would have just won a small pot if he had just bet flop.
yeah,
And now it's like by playing pot control, he has this brutal spot now.
that's
That being
so
said,
annoying. Yeah,
if he makes the call, he suddenly has a pile of chips.
you're 100% right. Yeah, I
But
agree. Unfortunately, he does not find the call. And here's where we can talk about ICM implications. I mean, he's got two much shorter stacks than him at this point.
mhm.
So it's like I think that's that all that again that's that ICM pressure that big stack can apply by jamming here, right? So he should be getting pretty much any one pair ace to fold.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is where with the ace six, it's important that you have a plan, right? And
Hmm.
not to say maybe he calls on some other rivers, or maybe he doesn't get bluffed on other rivers. But if you're going to call and then in a spot where you know your opponent is going to often go all in on the river, it's like you need to have a plan for that. And I'm not even saying he played any of the hand wrong, that's not
Yeah.
That's not what the point is.
No.
It's a tough spot regardless.
And the eight of clubs is not a blank by any means.
It's not like it does bring in queen nine suited.
Yep.
It, I guess it does. There's only a few combos of queen nine suit, but there's also
He
just
could
like
have like 7-9 of spades, maybe too. I don't know, but
he could also just
or
have
7-9 of diamonds, I
yeah,
guess.
like he could have jack 10, fives. Although I will say he probably three bets like ace 10, ace jack,
Yeah, I think
um,
that's fair.
probably king queen. This is the tricky part. Like, does he three bet king queen? Does he like he won't really have a set except for maybe fives. So actually there's sort of a but also a lot of the small blinds calling range besides that already has like a jack or a 10 and isn't gonna bluff turn.
Yeah, exactly. You just had showdown value at that point. Yeah, I
So
think that's a tough one. It's a tough spot. I thought that was a cool one to bring up, and
yeah.
I think it
Look,
really exemplifies
I
the excuse me, the ICM. I'm like MCI, CMI, the ICM.
look, I think with the ace six of clubs, like I said, I would probably check back flop. There's a good chance I end up playing it the same way, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Here's the thing is you never know true. I mean, hindsight's 2020, obviously, but you never know that board run out's going to run out. Because, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that board would have ran out where the action would have not been the same. Obviously, that gin turn gave Homeboy an open ender and the other dude a flush draw that he can start now semi-bluffing at. But if it was like a more bricky card, it would have been just fine. So it's just that turn kind of set the wheel in motion, I guess,
yeah.
to put him in a tough spot. But anyways, I thought that was interesting hand. Any last thoughts on that hand?
From the perspective of 8 9 of hearts, it's good to be aware. Like this is a good. It's always good to think about what actually is showdown value. So obviously, he rivers fourth pair. He knows that's not really going to be good, and he can fold out even top pair here. He could have folded out like queen 10, jack, jack 9, queen jack, king 10, all this stuff, kings, queens. It was good of him to recognize that
That hand would win as is. I think
yeah, that 8 9 suited. He was up against such a range that had so many hands that were ahead of him, and a lot of them could fold to a jam.
I think it would be good to explain how we deduced that the eight's not going to be good here. And while it is pretty common, it is common sense, I guess, for people who played a lot of poker, but maybe for people who don't play a lot of poker. Obviously, the guy with with a pair of aces, he checked back the flop, but after he calls the turn on the ace 10 jack, he's never has a pair worse than tens, and he's never. I mean, he's not calling with like a king six suited that has a gutter either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the one exception is if he has like king X of diamonds specifically,
King X
diamonds, or
yeah,
queen X of diamonds.
yeah.
There are a handful of combos that 9 8 suited could be ahead of here, but
it's with the action after he calls the turn, it's safe to assume that he has a pair better than an eight at this point.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, cool. Now we have one more hand to get into here, and this one is going to be a heads up hand for the main event title.
I will say we should clarify no ICM when there's heads up.
There is no ICM. So this is from the 2021 main event. Can I quiz you?
Oh, is that Cry Aldemir?
Did you say cry?
Korai.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, Karai, Corey, however you want to say it. This hand has, it's the amateur Holmes versus the seasoned pro Aldemir. The stack sizes are Corey's got 202 million, which is 84 and a half bigs. George Holmes has 194 million, which is 80 bigs. What's it like to have 100 plus million chips in a stack, Wes?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It was cooler when it got to over 200 million, though.
That's so sick. Yeah, that's insane. Just referencing Wes's Gladiator run from like 12 years ago, but
2. Thank you very much.
Take the one off.
I was in diapers 12 years ago.
That's right. That's correct. So first place in this tournament is $8 million. Second place is 4.3. This is actually an insane pay jump. How top heavy is that? Where that can't be standard, right? 4.3.
Yeah, it's a little top heavy for sure.
It's got to be.
Oh, you know what they did? Because they wanted to make first at least 8 million, but that was the COVID year. And so they made first 8 million, but they didn't have enough players where it should have been 8 million, I feel
That's
like.
right. Yeah. So they've skewed the payouts quite a bit over the past few years to kind of make it look good for television, in my opinion. But anyways, if you're making that final table, you're not going to complain too much. Regardless, the big blind is 2.4 million. So it's 1.2, 2.4 million with a 2.4 million big blind ante. We are now
Mhm.
heads up for that beautiful world of champion bracelet. Holmes is on the button with the king of clubs, queen of spades, and he raises to 6 million. Corey calls with the 10 of diamonds, 7 of diamonds.
Mhm.
Um, I think this is all very standard at this point, right?
Yeah.
I
Aldemir could choose the 3-bet, but, like, I know Holmes was a very sticky player, and so, yeah, I think this is standard.
so that's funny because I don't know if 10-7. I think 10-7 suited is going to be almost like a pure call, actually.
You think so?
I do think so. I think that the king queen, I think 10-7 suited is going to be I know the solver likes to 3-bet a lot, but I think 10-7 is a pretty clear flat in my opinion.
Okay.
The flop comes
Yeah.
10 of hearts, 10 of hearts, 7 of spades, 2 of hearts. There's 14.4 million in the pot. I think as Corey here, we're just going to always check, correct?
Mhm.
Holmes bet 6 million, so just under half pot, like what, 40%. Now, with Corey on this board, I feel like we should always be check raising this hand because no, this is my initial thoughts, and let me know if you agree with this or if there's anything I'm missing. But on the 10 of hearts, 7 of spades, 2 of hearts board, there's a lot of draws. So
Yeah, there
I think raising is great here with your value as well as your draws because the board is so draw heavy that you'll be getting called later.
Yep, I would agree. You can get floated by, like, overs with a backdoor, any 7, any 10, a deuce even, gut shot,
Yeah.
ace highs.
Yeah. So, and also we wanted to kind of defend our equity with two pair here as
Yeah, I
well.
mean, this could end up being the hand where we win the world championship. We want to get the chips in.
100%. So, this is where things get a little strange to me. So, Holmes C bets 6 million. Aldermere check raises to 19 million.
Mhm.
Do you float here with the king queen with no back? I mean, he's got the backdoor straight draw, but he doesn't even have a heart in his hand.
No, I'm folding
It's going
without a
straight to
heart.
the muck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we both agree that at this point this hand should be over. However, George, he's an amateur player. He's probably been playing 12 plus hours a day for 8 plus days.
Mhm.
So I mean, whether whatever his reasoning is, he's sticky. Let's just say he's
Yeah,
sticky.
he put him on a draw maybe.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of what we expect, what we were
Yeah.
just mentioned. So he calls the 19 million. There's 52.4 million in the pot. So now I'm reading some notes here on this hand. The solver loves almost always check raising with his 2 pair on such a dynamic flop as we had said.
Mhm.
Now I think that Holmes should, as we said, Holmes should be folding the king queen off. But according to this note I'm reading here, that it's actually solver approved to float, and I'm wondering if that's just because of the dynamics of the board. Like you can be
Yeah,
ahead
I
of a
I
lot of the
guess
gutters, straight draws,
maybe
etc.
maybe I'm a nit then. Like, there are a lot of draws available, and he's
But
never
it's
gonna be up against ace high.
yeah, but
So,
if you're just gonna always whiff the turn and you're just almost always gonna whiff the turn, and then a lot of the time face another bet.
mhm.
So I just feel like you're kind of punting off or burning the money essentially. So okay, so the turn is the king of spades.
Yep.
So Mr. Holmes does hit his top pair, and there's 52.4 million in the pot. What are you betting with as Corey here? It's 10, 7 deuce, 2
Yeah.
hearts, king of
And
spades. So now it's 2 flush draws.
what's the effective stack at this point?
Let's see. So it's going to be, what did I say the starting stacks were? 202 million and 194 million minus the pre-flop and the post-flop. What is that?
Like
So
25. So, like, 169 effective?
yep, exactly. Yep.
Okay. I mean, you could go around pot size here. Like, you could go close to that. If you go
Just trying
pot
to set
size,
up for a jam on the river.
yeah, you'll end up with, like, a .7 SPR maybe,
Yeah.
point
Do we want to
0.6.
also size up here due to the board now being two-tone?
Yeah, like, we can have so many good bluffs here. We can have, the jack nines now are double gutted. The what the 8-6 of spades now has a lot of
There's a
equity.
lot of semi bluffs in this hand now. Like there's so many
And
draws
there's so
available.
many, and for our individual hand, like we're gonna be good now so often, and there's so many rivers that
We don't
either
love.
kill our action or kill our hand.
Yeah.
And
I think, I mean, is it fair to assume that there, I mean, not assume, but say that there's more probably semi bluffs than value hands here at this point.
yeah, or yeah, and the maybe the solver way to say that is you should go like if, in order to balance, you need to either go thinner for value or you need to not bluff all of your draws. Um, like some of the draws should just give up or pot control. And I don't necessarily know what all those would be, but yeah, no, you're right. Like now if I'm facing a check raise and a bet, like I'm assuming that, yeah, like I'm going to be calling Holmes, if I have a 10, I'm still going to be happily calling the turn, especially even if I have like, a seven that doesn't interfere with the draws,
Hmm.
doesn't block draws, I would be calling with. And then, yeah, I mean, both players can have a lot of draws here.
So now, let's see. So Aldemir bets 36.5 million and
I don't
Holmes.
hate it. I think I would actually go bigger, but I think
Okay.
it's reasonable.
Yeah, I kind of like if he went a little bit bigger, he'd be setting up a 1-to-1 SPR or a one SPR for George's stack. Instead, now it's a slightly under.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be like I my bet size, I would probably set up less than 1-to-1 because like I want to get in chips on this turn card,
Yeah, while the
you
draws
know?
are present. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. That makes sense. So
Like, yeah, the ace jack of spades type of float. I'm like, I want to just extract from that hand
I
right
will
now.
say to defend George here that after he does turn top pair, I think it's a pretty clear call here.
Yeah, I mean there is a world too, and I think does he end up just jamming over the
He does not.
oh, he just calls.
He
Okay.
just calls the
I think
36.5
there's a
million.
world where it's like because of all those draws, by the same logic, like we can feel like we have such a strong hand now too, and it's like we just jam to like
To defend our equity now.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can understand that. So he does
Because
just
Aldemir's he's not gonna necessarily have like 10 deuce off, 7 deuce off, pocket tens, maybe not seven. Like we're gonna be ahead mostly as George Holmes here.
yeah, I agree with you. I agree with that. So there's 125.4 million in the pot. George has 132 behind. This is where I think another blunder from George is, and also big. I love this. I love this play from Corey. Corey checks the 9 of clubs river. So the full board is 10 of hearts, 7 of spades, 2 of hearts, king of spades, 9 of clubs. I mean, 8-10 gets there, but 8-10's probably not in there at all at this point with the action. So he's not. I'm just saying George never has 8-10 at this point, unless it's of hearts, maybe specifically, or spades, I
Or like
guess.
Jack 8 for the
J-
straight.
yeah, Jack 8 as well. Yeah, Jack 8. Yep. Um, Corey checks and George goes all in for 132 million. See, this is, I think, a huge blunder. I mean, if you're trying to get, first off, I don't think any worst hand's going to call this bet.
Yeah, and if I remember, like Aldemir thinks about it for a while before calling.
I don't remember. Yeah, I'm not. I
Yeah.
don't remember how long he tanks. But cool. The sizing is so strange, right? It's like if I had a king here, or if I had George's hand here specifically into 125, if I was going to value bet here, I'd bet like 35 million or less, and then fold to a jam.
Yeah. And in that case, maybe you just want to check because imagine Aldemir like turns 9-8 into a check jam or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, and which Corey's totally capable of because
Yeah.
he's definitely well studied. So, I think the overbet jam with King Queen here is just not good. What do you think on that?
I have kind of one foot in both camp because like on one hand, imagine Aldemir does have he like rivered a 9 or he had some sort of a 10 for value or he check raised like King X of hearts on the flop and now has a weak king or something.
Yeah,
There's stuff that like we can maybe get value from, but I do think if SPR was like 3/4, I think a jam makes sense, but I don't. I think this is a bit much. I think we're most. I mean, I agree with him that I would expect King Queen to mostly be the best hand here, but I also would expect to mostly not get called for an overbet jam.
that's my exact thoughts, right? So that's why I wouldn't jam it here. Corey makes the call and he wins the World
You,
Series of Poker main event.
yeah,
We have went through the entire final table, and now here we are sitting as the world champions at the
that's
World
gonna be
Series of
all of you
Poker.
guys this summer.
Yes, yes. I hope that. How sick would it be if a Suited Kings listener just won
Yeah.
the whole damn thing?
Well, you
Start
heard it here
channeling it,
now, guys.
guys.
If any of you wins it, you owe us $1 million each.
One, yeah, we'll take that'll be the cut off the top for listening. But and then you'll actually, get, maybe a high from us on break if you see us. Just kidding. But yeah, I thought that would be a cool way to end it, just holding up the world championship title. I mean, we've all dreamed about this spot, and we've gone through the entire process, Wes, from the beginning of the tournament to the past registration, from the bubble to the late stages pre-final table, and now through the entire final table. There's some of my biggest, tips that I just want to give to everybody at this point is, while you're out there, just have as much fun as you can. Um,
Yeah.
take your losses with stride. Don't tilt over them. Just know that, be thankful for the opportunity to have those moments. Eat well, get a lot of rest out there, and then just play the best that you're capable of, whether at whatever skill level you're at.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun to just be out there, and it's like this is sort of the pinnacle of tournament poker, right?
Right. Yeah, it is for sure. The Mount Everest of tournament poker. So I just thought that was a great spot to end it. And now we do have, obviously, the one more episode of the WSOP Prep finale, where we're going to have some very special guests join us and just talk about everything World Series of Poker. They may have some experience themselves with success in the World Series of Poker. So I think
Yeah.
that they will have a lot of good input. But I think we can go ahead and wrap it up there. And get into some other things, Wes, unless you have final thoughts on this hand or thoughts on tips.
Oh man, here's a couple quick tips for final tables. Your three bets can be small, because you're going to be putting on
Love that. Yeah.
lot of pressure. Don't be afraid to like
You
click
don't
it
always
to
have to 3x and
yeah.
4x. You can, yeah.
Oh, go like
2
4
point, 2.4x.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 4.4 big blinds versus a min raise when you're in position. Like people just have to fold stuff a lot of the time.
Yeah. Pay
If you're
attention
the
to your
big stack,
stacks. Yeah.
if you're the big stack, three betting some suited kings. I'm not just pumping up our podcast by saying that, but it can be a good idea. Just God, just make money at the
Yeah.
all your
Run well.
decisions at the final table, like, focus on what's going to make you the most money in the long run. Unless you literally don't care about money and you just want the bracelet, then just try and run over the final table.
That's fun to watch. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. And just make sure that enjoy the moment and don't get too caught up in what the result might end up being. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of technical stuff we could get into, and maybe in the next episode that'll be a longer episode, so I'm sure we'll have at least a couple questions come in on final table type stuff. But like, yeah, overall, just make the decisions that make the most sense. And poker tournaments are crazy in that sometimes the way the cards run out or what your opponent happens to have in this moment could result in 5 or 6 figures worth of money one way or another.
It's
And
crazy. Yeah. It's a
yeah.
crazy game we play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just be optimistic. Yeah, like I said, take your losses in stride so that you can focus moving forward. You have to put them behind you, and that'll help you make your best decisions moving forward from that point. Always, take a step away from the table for a second, remind yourself where you're at, and what's gonna make you perform the best from there on out, and do that multiple times.
Yeah.
Wes, thank you for going through this series with me once again. I look forward to doing it again next year. And each year it's going to be completely different on how we tackle the WSOP prep. But this was a super fun one. I do want to now step into our merchandise, the Suited Kings hoodies that are now available in multiple colors on tilted-compass.com or tilted-compass.com.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very big surprise. We have 20 hoodies to give away.
We do. We had a generous, I don't know if you'd call it a donation, but a a purchase, and we have 20 to give away. So how are we going to give these all away? What are we going to do?
That's a good question. That is an absolute good question. Let's you know what? Let's not come up with anything right now, but we are going to just start handing these things out through our Discord giveaways, through Twitter giveaways.
Yeah, probably a couple competitions, guess the amount of entries type of thing.
Yeah, just simple ways. But these hoodies are absolutely incredible. They're $60 in value each. So
And really more like 600 because it's suited kings. But
yeah, exactly. And you know what? No better way to prep for the World Series of Poker than by getting some super comfortable hoodies to wear there, because
oh,
it does get
absolutely.
chilly in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, if so, this is actually a great time to plug our Discord. If you haven't gotten into our Discord yet, make sure to check the links in the description. We'll be giving away hoodies there. Keep an eye on our Twitter/X post over the next couple weeks here. We'll be doing giveaways there, and I mean, just gonna hand them out like hotcakes. I mean, let's get these hoodies given away, and let's give them away quick. Make sure to also check out our Patreon channel. If you Patreon is a place where you can get extra content from us here at the Suited Kings. We make training videos tailored to kind of what you guys want, based what you tell us what you'd like to see in our Discord. And every week we put out 2 to 3. We have our $5 podcast, appreciation subscription, where if you just want to support the podcast, you can pay that $5 a month. We have the $15 pro study tier, where Wes and I drop videos each week that can help you improve your game at a very significant reduction of cost to your wallet. We'll say that was very poorly worded, but I think you get the gist there. And Wes, what else we got here?
Play on clubs poker with us.
We had the meetup game last night. Shout out to X-Ray Arlo, or what's his name on there?
His name is Incapable.
Incapable. He's clearly incapable.
Yeah. That should be his actual name. Clearly incapable. That's a
has a ring to it. But shout out to you, Arlo, on shipping the meetup game. You got that special Discord tag now. Until you're dethroned a couple weeks from now, when we have our next meetup game.
Absolutely.
I think that's all we got for the day. But yeah, again, I love this. I'm thankful for the opportunity to have this podcast with you and get get hyped for the to give. I'm super thankful for the opportunity to discuss poker with you every week and get to share it with everybody, and then get to meet everybody and talk with everybody, and just for the opportunity to play cards. And I'm really looking forward to having a extremely fun summer out in Vegas with my boys and the girls as well. So
absolutely.
Yeah, Wes, I hope you crush them this weekend in the $800.
That's right. You can't be there.
The $800 Spring Classic main at Canterbury. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make it, but I'll be giving a big shout out and rooting for everybody who can crush it this weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I guess without further ado, I hope you guys have a great night or great day, whatever time it is, and we'll see you guys next week.